Hey, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about Vishal AIDS EDA. So EDA basically means exploratory data analytics, and this particular episode we are going to talk about how to make some kind of data into a pictorial way so we can understand way better. So this can be done by a couple of ways like pie chart, a line chart, area chart, etc, etc. And we are going to be using some kind of modules in Python. We'll be discussing later in this part of the video. And without further ado, let's get started. For this particular video, we are going to be needing some pre-requirements, or in our case, it's charts. So the first one is you are going to be needing is pandas. So you can install it by pip install pandas, and it's going to be installed automatically. And you can do the same for Matplotlib, and it's going to be installed. So for me it's already installed, so it didn't take any longer, but for majority of you it's going to be taking a little more time because of the obvious reasons. Be patient and it will be done eventually. So that's all the pre-requirements you are going to be needing. Let's get started with line chart. So you all know what is line chart is. So it has a curve which depicts the data from some kind of database or anything. So let's get started, and I'm going to create a function which is going to return in a dictionary which is completely randomized. Okay, so let's suppose I'm making a function generate data, and let's suppose it's taking an argument size. Okay, so and we are going to declare in a dictionary, and it's going to take two keys, and one of them is x-axis, and we are going to need numpy module. So let's import here numpy, and we are going to name this as np. So this np is an alias, so you can name whatever you want, like ashik also is applicable, but np is most widely used, so I'm going to use np here. And here I want to call this functions arrange, and inside of this I'm going to pass the size here. Okay, let me increase my size here. Okay, so the other key it's going to be taken is called y-axis, and here I'm going to randomly generate, and np dot random, and again rand, and inside of this it's going to be size. So basically this is going to arrange in an order of, like, suppose like in a uniform manner, and this y-axis is going to be completely random. Okay, so let's return this value in a form of data frame. So let's return, and pd we are pd it's going to be pandas. So let's import this again. So import pandas. Again I'm going to rename this as pd, and here we are calling this, and pd dot data frame is another pandas function which is going to convert this as a data frame. So let's pass this data inside of here, simple as that. And I forgot a comma here, so I'm going to be putting here. Okay, so things are fine. Now it's way simpler. Just you have to make a df variable and call this function here, and I'm going to call this function, and inside of this let's suppose I want 50 variables. Okay, 50 numbers, sorry. And let's print if this is working or not. So let's suppose df and head and 10. So you might be asking where this 10 is coming from. So this particular generate data is going to create an object. So this is an, let's suppose it's a function inside of that. So this is a head function, and if I run this, let me clear out, and it's going to be python 3 main.py, and here we are getting all the data. Okay, so you can see it's get uniformly assigned for the x-axis, and for y-axis completely random. So things are okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot this using Matplotlib. Okay, so actually it's called Matplotlib, sorry for that. And I'm going to import Matplotlib, and I'm going to specifically call this function which is called pyplot, and again I'm going to rename this as plt. Okay, for simplification of reasons. And let's call this function, and inside of this we have plot, and we can use df again and pass this values as a key. Okay, and let's pass another argument, and this is going to be the y-axis. Simple as that. Okay, now we have to show this actual picture, so we can use this function, which is plt.show. Simple as that. Now when we run this, we will be getting this graph. So hopefully that's the line chart here. The simple as that. Let us revise one more time. So we are making this completely random generator, which is going to be making use of np, which is numpy, and we are importing numpy here, and we are making kind of an instance here. So we are making df here, and we are making use of matplotlib, and we are plotting here, and for the printing of the picture we are going to show this using plt.show. Simple as that. And now we are going to talk about bar chart. So we all know bar chart again what it is, and for this we are going to import in again. We are going to import matplotlib, and matplotlib dot specific function, which is going to be pyplot as plt, and sorry for that, plt. Let's import one more module, which is going to be called as random. Let's consider a situation where you have to plot some kind of months related situation. So what I'm going to do is make some variable called months, and it's going to be list. So I'm going to call this kind of keyword here, and instead of that I want to fill this with range of 1 to 13. So basically this is going to have the values of 1 2 3 4 5 till 12. Okay, so obviously for the number of months we have here. So that's all what we need here. So let's consider we want a list which has the data of the sold quantity over the months. So we are going to enter sold quantity, and we are going to use list comprehension. If you are not familiar with that, make sure to refer some kind of video, and it's going to be random dot uniform, and we are going to enter a range which is 10 to 100. Okay, and let's go outside of this, and we have to enter for I in range of 12. Okay, for so basically this is going to round is going to be like, it's not going to allow the values of, let's suppose, decimals. It's going to round to the nearest value, like the actual whole value. Okay, you might have studied as this as a round off value in our older classes, and this is going to be the random module we have imported over here, and inside of that we have this particular function. It's going to be called uniform. Okay, so this uniform, as the name mentioned, is going to be giving the values uniformly. Okay, and this 10 to 100, it's going to be the values called as the limit. Okay, so it's going to be inside of 100 and more than of 10. Okay, and so basically this is going to return as a random value list, and that's all what we need. And let's make a subplots. So that's going to be figure and axis, and it's going to be plt dot subplots. That's all we are going to call this. Okay, so this is the figure as well as the axis. So this is going to be destructuring the value. So destructuring basically gives actually, let's suppose, a tuple, and this is going to be assigned accordingly. Okay, we are going to call the plt here, the matplotlib, and here we have to call this function called xticks. So this xticks is going to be the actual like the markings inside the graphs, and I'll be explaining this in a minute. And we are going to pass this to list over here, and months and sold quantity. So plus that, and now we are going to make a plot variable, and this is going to be axis dot bar, and instead of that you are going to pass this again sold quantity. Okay, so plus that. Now you have to show this. So we have learned earlier, this is going to be plt dot show, open parenthesis and close parenthesis. Simple as that. Now let's, hopefully it's going to be working. So now let me rerun this. Okay, something's off. Oh sorry, it's going to be show. Okay, yeah, simple as that. Okay, so this kind of markings is called xticks. Okay, not to be confused, this is called xticks, and this randomly generated this kind of value 1771, and this is going to be uniformly split. This is 0 10 20. Okay, that's simple as that, and that's going to be our bar chart. now we are going to talk about scatterplot. Scatterplot is a way of representing data in form of dots. It is an x-axis, y-axis, two variable thing, and this is two-dimensional. And if you compare it with bubbly chart, it is three-dimensional, and we'll be talking about it in the later of the video. So let's implement this. I'm going to import our beloved module again, which is going to be import Matplotlib and pyplot here and as PLT. Okay, the actual usual code here. And now we are going to be making two list. Okay, and obviously, as the name suggests, it's going to be x-axis and y-axis. And here I'm going to put random stuff here. Actually, yeah, random stuff. Let me fill this. Okay, simple as that. I'm going to put this at 10, and here again I'm going to put this as a not in a random way, as a uniform way, because I want this as y-axis. Y-axis, we all know it's going to be uniform. Okay, so let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, and a 10, and it's going to be 12, and it's going to be 14, it's going to be 16, 18, and 20. Okay, so plus that. Let me save, and now we are going to call the scatter function instead of PLT. And you all know why I'm calling this, which is because this is a scatter plot, and here I'm just going to pass x and y. Simple as that. Now I'm going to this is optional stuff, but I'm going to do it still anyway because of the extra code we need, and it's going to be the labeling of the x-axis as well as the y-axis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this function x label. Okay, and instead of that, you have to put, you can basically put any kind of value here, but for this particular video I'm going to just enter x-axis. Simple as that. Now just replace this as y here, and this is going to be y label, and here I am going to put this as y-axis plus that. Now again, you can avoid this, but I'm going to do it anyway, which is going to be plt.title, and instead of this you can do anything. I'm going to do scatter plot demo. Simple as that. Now you all know, for showing this we can basically do plt show open and close parenthesis. Simple as that. Now let's run this. Okay, I didn't specify the same number here. Let me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and this is going to be 10. So let's remove a couple of values here, and let me run this again, and hopefully, yeah, this is working. You can see we are getting the x labels, and we are getting the actual plots here and the title here. So make sure the x values, the length of the list, it's going to be same as the y-axis to avoid any kind of error. Now we are going to talk about bubble chart. So basically, as I mentioned before, it's not a huge difference between scatter and a bubble chart. So as I mentioned before, scatter chart is a two-dimensional quantity, so we can just measure two factors at once. So, okay, so let's suppose we are having three factors, and we have to compile this sort of information into a single chart, and we have to be focused on three dimension. Here comes bubble chart. Okay, so bubble chart, you might ask, where is the actual third parameters is going on? So it's depending upon the size of the dots. Okay, the scatter plot, the size of the dots were constant, it wasn't changing. It has a single radius, single unity radius, but when you come to bubble, it's not the same case. The size of it's going to be vary. Actually, let me pull the same code, and I'll just modify the old code here. So I'm going to remove this bubble chart. Okay, simple as that. And here I'm going to add one more, which is going to be the size of the dot list, and this is going to be our third parameter. So I'm going to be putting this as a 30, 50, 20, and a 40, and a 10. Simple as that. Okay, now as I mentioned before, we have this sort of value, so we are going to correspond this as well. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's add 5 more of this. So that's going to be 20, 10, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. Okay, simple as that. Now we have to specify the sizes as the next variable. So it's going to be s is equal to sizes, and make sure you enter this inside the scatter function and sizes, and Now we have to specify the transparency to, let's suppose you have lot of values overlapping on each other, so transparency might help differentiating between the dots. So I'm going to put alpha, which is just the transparency, don't confuse. So it's going to be 0.5. Okay, simple as that. And make sure you have wrote this is an X label, I don't want to repeat that, Y label, and this is a title. And now we are going to plot this, and dot show comes handy here. And now let me run this, and here you can see the sizes of the bubbles vary, and the things are same for the scatter. So coming to our last topic, which is area chart, and you might be familiar with area chart, how it looks and all. So I'll be dropping an image in the video. So let's get started with the implementation. So I'm not going to write the code again, I'm just going to modify this code. So as the third parameters is not required in an area chart, I'm going to remove this sizes list, and let us remove this scatter also. Okay, so now just put a random data. For me it's going to be the previous code, and I'm going to not repeat again. So now let's just call this PFT function, and inside of this just call this fill between. Okay, so basically this fill between is going to pull up the data from here and implementing this as a fill between. So basically it's going to apply some kind of color, so that color will be specifying inside of this. So obviously you have to pass these variables x and y, and here color I'm going to put this as sky blue. Okay, sky blue. Make sure this is all in small, and inside of this I'm going to, again you all remember what alpha is, I'm going to put alpha is equal to, let's suppose I want this as 0.4. okay, so alpha, you all know it's transparency. Color I'm going to put as sky blue. You might also well put blue, but sky blue fits well, and simple as that. And here let me change this as area chart, simple as that. Now, and I'm going to plot this, real handy. Now let me run this, and you all can see we get this actual beautiful chart here. So that's all for today, and tomorrow I'll be covering the next topics of the lesson. So till then, peace out.